Hi everyone. I've been trying to find a place to vlog for like probably the past half an hour, and every time I start to like sit down and start or whatever, there's like a car that comes by or something loud that happens. And I'm escaping today. Can't seem to get comfortable. I'm escaping today out of my prison cell that is called my apartment. Because I took my Tamoxifen at the same time I took it yesterday, which you're supposed to take at the same time every day, almost like birth control pills. And I don't have control over that. Well, I guess I do, but like it would be stupid for me not to take it. But I wanted to focus on what I do have control over, which is such a cliche thing that they always say. But yesterday I walked like a mile or something, and they said, you know, keep doing that. And I'm like, okay. So I walked 1.25 miles today, kind of unintentionally. Part of that was finding a place to vlog, so I walked a little bit further than I was originally expecting to. And I feel good. I felt very free. Like I went out and it looked like it was gonna rain, and I'm like, I don't even want to check the weather. I'm being all rebellious. Like if it rains, it rains. So I start walking, and I got to like the half-mile point, and I'm like, I should turn around and go back. But I went a little bit further to like a mile marker. I was on a sidewalk the whole time on like a main street. That way, if something, God forbid, were to happen, at least I would be, you know, by humans and not like in the middle of nowhere on some trail or something. I am noticing that my right shoulder, like right now, because I just reached over to scratch my back, my right shoulder is really bothering me. I'm not sure why. It was bothering me a little bit before surgery. But I'm not sure what's going on there. But I imagine next week, they'll probably, when I see plastics on Wednesday of next week, they'll probably have me start PT again, which I'm actually now looking forward to. When I started it originally, I was only 2 weeks out, and I feel like, I feel like that wasn't enough for me, and I was having pain. When I first started walking, so tips for when you're doing this, even the beginning of surgery, like in the beginning after surgery, I tended to hunch over, like with my shoulders, to kind of protect my chest. And even when I'm walking, yesterday, the therapist asked me, am I swinging my arms when I'm walking? And I'm like, no, because I'm keeping my arms as close to my side as possible. And he's like, you have to start walking like you normally would walk. And that's like my next step. He always says that, like, you know, when you're doing an exercise and you get, or whatever, and you're getting to the point where it feels like it's dumb that you're doing it, it's time to move on to the next step. So for me, like my shoulder circles and stuff, those, look at that, woo! I'm able to do that without a problem. So it's like, I know that I'm ready for the next phase of things. So I was walking, and I was making an intentional, or intentionally putting my shoulders up and back a little bit, so I was walking up straighter. And granted, my boobs did hurt, not like hurt, but it was tight, and it was heavy. I feel like they weigh like 8,000 pounds still, and I have a super supportive bra on, but they still feel like they weigh 1,000 pounds. But I just kept walking. It wasn't pain, it's just discomfort. And then it is like 57 degrees outside, and I'm wearing short sleeves, which is what you do when you're going through perimenopause, because you tend, at least me, I tend to be warm a lot. So I have no problems getting up when it's 30 degrees outside and going for a walk. To me, it feels like it's springtime when it's 30 degrees out. Yeah, but after a while, it didn't bother me anymore with my breasts. It's like I was pushing, but not to the point of pain. And, you know, now it's like, whatever, over an hour later, and I feel okay. So yeah, pushing, you know, to the point of challenging yourself, but not overdoing to the point that you're in pain. And I felt so free. Like it was just so nice to go on a walk that I typically would do. I typically would go for a 3.5 mile loop, in like these streets that are kind of shaped like a letter D, I guess. And eventually want to make my way back up to doing that in the morning, slowly. I'm sure as I'm doing more arm exercises, it'll hurt more to walk for long periods of time because I'll be sore. But what I do have control over, so yeah, standing up more upright, swing my arms, not crazy, just like you would swing your arms normally as you walk, because I haven't been doing that, just to have a more natural stance. And I was able to do it, and I felt really proud. So I made it 1.25 miles. Yesterday was 1 mile, and I am solely going by how my body's feeling. Like, I went the 1/2 mile, I turned around and went back, and then I just kept going until I did feel a ping in my boob, and I'm like, all right, there's my body talking, I have to listen to it, and I need to stop. So it's thinking about what you have control over. Granted, I can't get up in the car and just drive to go someplace, do whatever I want to do, but I can use my legs and walk to somewhere. Like, there's a pizzeria around here, and I'm like, maybe I'll eventually get to a point where I can walk there and have some pizza and then like walk back home. I don't know, but I don't want to feel like I'm stuck. I've been feeling very stuck in my place. Like, I'm so sick of sitting on the same damn couch, and then I started binge watching a really stupid show that I've already watched before, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, that's not me. I want to not get stuck in some rut and go out and explore, because that's who I am. Like, I like to explore new places. I just have to be responsible about how I'm doing it right now, that it needs to be places where I'm visible, and places that I know. And like, I don't mind walking on my own. I mean, that's fine with me. I actually would rather use my friends right now for things like, you know, getting a cup of coffee or something outside before the snow hits, because it is, tomorrow will be October 1st. So, yeah. So it's a matter of like pushing yourself. And I feel like for me, the tamoxifen journey, I don't know what it's going to bring, but I do know all the side effects I could have. And if I sit home after I take the tamoxifen and then hyperanalyze every little thing I feel or see or whatever, I'm going to be like, oh, do I have a stomach ache because of the tamoxifen? You know, do I have a headache because of the tamoxifen? I would rather like get my ass up and like leave my apartment and go for a walk where I'm distracted and I'm outside. And then by the time I go back in, I'll have lunch, and then it kind of resets the rest of the day. So that's what I have control over. That's what I'm going to shoot for. That's my way of having control over the whole thing. And hopefully I'll be one of those people that doesn't have side effects. I don't know. But they also said the more you can exercise, not like lifting weights, just like normal exercise that you would do, the more you can do that, the less likely it is that you'd have side effects from the tamoxifen. So I'm going to do that, you know. I'll be in better shape too, which is good. You know, I gained all that weight, and I do notice in my pants that it's going away. This is the last place for me to lose weight. It's not like I'm sitting there doing neck exercises. Well, I am actually, but not because of that. And then next week I have an appointment with the gynecologist, and, you know, I am 49, I'm in the throes of perimenopause. So, you know, there's your uterus and my ovaries are just like, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just like your ovaries release estrogen, and my body does not want estrogen right now, but I'm not done with the whole menopause process yet. So I'm sure that we're going to have important things to talk about and potentially decisions to make. I don't know. So, I mean, it was a clear choice to be on the tamoxifen because I'm nowhere near being done with my period. But when you're in perimenopause, like, you have no idea when you're going to get it. I'm pretty sure I skipped this cycle. Before that, I had 3 cycles in like 6 weeks. So there's no way to know. So we'll see what tomorrow or what next week brings with that gynecologist appointment. I'll also have an appointment with plastics, so I'll have more to share with you about that as a check-in. To me, I've been using the Aquaphor on my scars. Oh, this one's funny. My YouTube thumbnail got pulled. I feel so racy. So I think I talked about it yesterday. I can't remember, but I was taking pictures of myself with, I did mention it yesterday, which I thought was tasteful and classy, but I took a picture of my, you know, my cool nail polish. It looks more purple here, but it is black with blue or purple on it. Almost it matches my shirt. But I took a picture of me with my hand over my boob. I mentioned this yesterday if you watched. And you could see part of my scar sticking out, and it's clearly like, well, I don't know if it's clearly a boob because I zoomed in. The full picture has my shoulder in it, and I have pretty good shoulders. So I thought it was actually a very flattering, classy picture. But I zoomed in enough because I'm like, I don't want it to be, weird for people to look at. But the more I'm looking at other people's YouTube videos that have gone through this, the stuff they put on YouTube, and there are no age restrictions, I'm like, damn, if they can like put that stuff up, then it should be fine. So I put it up. I won't even tell you because you can go in your analytics, and all of a sudden I started getting view. I've never had that many views in such a short period of time. But you can't see, it's literally in my hand. You can see the curve of my boob. And actually, if you go on the Facebook page, it's still there. Because Facebook, well, maybe it's not as of now, but as of earlier today, it was still there on Facebook. Maybe Facebook will flag it too. I have no idea. Maybe it'll be flagged just because I said the word flag just now. But YouTube sent me an email and said that I just find this so funny, that the picture was considered of a sexual nature, which I actually thought was flattering because I'm like, good. Because I don't feel that way at all right now. So if they thought it was sexy, I'm like, okay, then it must be. But I'm sure there were men out there. It tells you like when people do a YouTube search, what words people search for, and then your video pops up. So what showed up, boobs is the most common one. Like, it's not even like what I use in my descriptions. It's not about that. I guess maybe I use the word boobs and enough in the actual video. But it was like 80% of the men typed in boobs, and then 20% typed in XX dash, or not dash, XX space XX. Which I'm like, okay, is that the new, like, triple X is now quadruple X with a space in the middle? Is that how you bypass stuff? I don't know. But, like, if you were looking for something that was, triple X boobs, I don't think the picture of me was really what you were looking for. But whatever, yeah, that was amusing. And so YouTube sent me an email, and it said, they're not striking you. So, like, if you put up something that's, like, inappropriate or copyrighted or whatever, they'll give you strikes, and it's like 3 strikes, whatever. They'll disable your account for a certain amount of time, and then if you keep, doing things that are against their rules, they'll take down I think you get like 3, like first they take it down for a certain amount of time, and then it's a longer amount of time, and the third time it's like your page is just down, which is a problem. So obviously I don't want to break any rules or anything, but I just found it interesting, and they said, like, they apologized, that they're like, I'm sure that you didn't intend for this to be that your video is not of a sexual nature, but because of their rules, they had to pull it down because of the picture, and they just chose some other thumbnail, and I went back and changed it to a different thumbnail because I'm trying to be all ownership-y. But I thought the picture was actually kind of classy, and I do want to have, before the next step in the reconstruction, I do want to have professional pictures taken of me. I don't know if I want my face in them or not, but I just want to have them just kind of as a record of having them for me. There's someone talking around here, but I need to finish up because I'm hungry. So that happened. That's amusing. And if you want to see the original picture, like, I talked to my kids about it too. I'm like, my nipple's not showing because I don't have one. But, they're not going to look at it, but they were totally fine with, like, me being me, which is awesome. Parenting win. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's on Facebook if you're curious. Same name, invasive ductal carcinoma. I have a Facebook page, and it might be pulled by now, but whatever. The full picture I'm proud of, but I'm not comfortable with putting that picture even with my shoulder in it up. I don't know why. I'm just not. Yeah, so that was that. There's 2 other topics that I really want to talk about, but I have to pee, and I need to get inside and eat some lunch and finish the rest of my day. Hi. So that's where I am today, and I'm feeling good. and there's a lot of trucks around me. All right, see you tomorrow, party people. Bye.